August a year ago, I took a short dive into John 14, 15, and 16 and emphasized the Father's love and sonship. This last August, we touched down again there, and if I remember right, I gave a message on, if I go away, I will come again and receive you to myself. So John 14, I'd like to just touch that one more time before I move on. I'd like to go through this entire discourse that Jesus gave to his disciples before he went to the cross. I'd like to go through it in depth with you as time will permit. But once again, in John 14, Jesus to his disciples, he said, in my Father's house, oikos, that's the house, the dwelling, the family, are many mansions. And the mansions, mone, it's rooms or spaces to dwell. The root is to dwell, to abide. There's many rooms, many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. There's plenty of rooms. There's plenty of room. But he said, I go to prepare a place for you. Heteromazo, it's prepare, to make room, to make ready, or provide a place for you. Place is the word topos. It's kind of, you would think it's a time and space word, and yet it's in the spirit, it's in the heavens, where he's going to prepare this topos, this place. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again. I will come anew. I will come once again and receive you. That's paralambano. I will take you to myself is the point. I will come and take you to myself. Very, very bridal and bride and bridegroom language in terms of a biblical wedding. Why? So that where I am, there you may be also. And so the first message that Jesus gives his disciples upon the terrible news that I'm going away. Remember that? I'm going away. They did not want to hear that. They were shocked, they were saddened, and they were fearful and perplexed. You're going away. So the first thing he gave them was this great hope. Look, if I go away, I will come again. And this is, in fact, the great hope of the Christian faith. So I think in August when I was here, we kind of dwelt, I used Genesis 24, how Abraham got a bride for his son Isaac, and how Rebekah, made that long 2,000-mile journey. And through the wilderness, if you will. And she was growing in love for a man she never met. And Jesus himself, when he gives this, he's claiming to be the bridegroom God that betrothed Israel to himself in the Old Testament. And he told his disciples in Matthew 9, just by way of remembrance, he said, the days will come when the bridegroom will be taken away. And then you will fast, and then you will. This is that. When I'm going away to the Father, this is that moment. The bridegroom is be taken away. He betrothed to himself a bride. He's going away to prepare a place. And if I go away, I will come again. This is the hope. And I kind of ponder the psychology, if you will, of growing in love in the absence of the bridegroom. Isn't there some little thing about absence makes the heart grow fonder? I don't know this. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. But there's something about that. And we grow in love. It's 1 Peter 1. Peter says, in this you greatly rejoice, though now you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold, tried in the fire, It's precious. But the goal is that it may be found to praise and honor and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. That's the apocalypsis, his unveiling when he comes, whom having not seen you love. So we're in this wilderness journey ourselves, in a broken world, growing in love for a bridegroom we have never met physically. Peter goes on, though now you do not see him, yet believing you rejoice with inexpressible and joy inexpressible and full of glory. Believing what? He's coming back. That's the hope. Now, part of this, the very fact that we're talking bridegroom language kicks in the idea of desire. When Jesus said that you may be with me where I am, we've got to think about his prayer in John 17, where he said, Father, I desire. The Son of God is praying to the Father. He said, Father, I desire that those you have given me may be with me where I am. God desires a bride, isn't it? Remember Isaiah 62? As a bridegroom rejoices over his bride, so your God rejoices over you. I find that powerful. Do you know what Rebecca means? We used Rebecca as an example from Genesis 24 back in August. Rebecca, the name means fettered or bound or trapped by beauty. She was so beautiful, you could not turn your eyes away. Now look, when you do Genesis 1, back to the beginning, and the order of creation, there's this pattern that God sets up about after its kind. 10 times. He creates the prototype, then the counterpart, and they produce after their own kind. Prototype, counterpart, produce after its own kind, fill the earth. When he said the words, let us make man in our image, he broke with the pattern. He makes the counterpart to himself. Let us make man in our image and in our likeness. He was the prototype. He creates a creature with the capacity for union and intimacy with him. And so then when he creates Eve, it's kind of this illustration on earth about what is intended for God and humanity, if you will. So as Eve was a suitable counterpart for Adam, among all the animals, there was none equal. There was none worthy. There was none suitable. He sees Eve, and now, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. She's suitable. She's comparable. As Eve was comparable to Adam, Adam was humankind is comparable to God. We are created for a counterpart with it. That is stunning. So when he looks at humans, what happens? He desires us. Father, I desire. Now, I told Jeff we're going to entitle this The Place. So that's kind of just reorienting to the bridal paradigm of this whole thing. But then he says, I go to prepare a place for you. And I would like to just kind of dwell on that for a little bit. The place is the place for perfect and complete union with him as bride and bridegroom. You remember his prayer in John 17, again, to the Father, Jesus to the bridegroom, to the Father, Father, that they may all be one. As you, Father, are in me and I am in you, may they also be one in us. So there's the union. And so I believe I'm going to go to Revelation 21, and we're going to look at the place. It's the city. It's a city. He's preparing a place. So in Revelation 21, verse 1, we have these words. Now I saw, John saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. By the way, for whatever it's worth, it perished. It perished in the fire as it perished in the flood. It's the same earth. The new heaven, it's kainos, it's renewed. It perished and it's renewed. It's recreated, if you will, renewed, but it's not a whole new earth. It's the same earth resurrected. The first heaven and first earth had passed away. Verse 2, then I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared. Hetoi matzo, the same word, I go to prepare a place for you. Here's the city coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them. I will come and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. He desires to be with his bride. He wants to set up house with his bride in the new place that he went to the Father's house to prepare, just like the biblical model. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God. I'm always struck that in the restoration of all things, in Genesis 1, God began with the heavens and the earth. He culminated with the glorious culmination of creation of Adam and Eve, mankind. But in the restoration of all things, he reverses the order precisely, and he has to start with recreating humankind, a new creation man, begotten of the Father by the regenerating power of the Spirit, a new creation. And the last thing to be restored is the new heaven and the new earth. He reverses the order. Because he's not going to turn over the new heaven and new earth to corrupted humans. We've been there before. So in this age, God begins by giving us new. If any man be in Christ, he's what? A new creation, right? And from there on, it becomes an issue of formation. The pattern is who? It's Jesus, becoming like him. So the formation happens in this present evil age. Some familiar words from Ephesians 5. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of the water of the word. By the word, that's the Rhema word, by the way. It's an intimate, relational thing through the Spirit. There's a washing and a cleansing in this present evil age, having been begotten of God. Now there's a washing and a cleansing by the word. Why? That he might present her to himself. There it is again. I'm going to receive you to myself. present her to him a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. And he goes on to say, he who loves his wife loves himself, because they're one flesh is the point. For no one ever hated his own flesh, verse 29, but nourishes and cherishes it. This is what the Song of Solomon is all about. The king is nourishing and cherishing a bride that does not have a one drop of royal blood in her veins. She has to be redeemed, begotten of the Father, washed and cleansed and brought up to speed, up to stature, so that she can be equally yoked to the king. It's called formation. I know that grooming has a bad slant in our day, but he's grooming her for royalty. He's equipping her to carry herself like a queen, like the bride of the king, and to rule and reign with him. And so the Song of Songs is all about his nourishing and cherishing and washing with his words and calling her up and up and up so that she can partner with him in the age to come. He nourishes and cherishes it just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Father, make them one. As you are in me and I am in you, may they be one in us. Union. This city he's prepared is a place for perfect union with the bridegroom and ultimately with the Father. This is a great mystery, but I speak of Christ and the church. Paul cites Genesis 2:24, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. At the creation of Eve, Adam sleeps the sleep of death. God pierces his side, takes out flesh. He makes a woman. And it's reminiscent of the cross to come, yet 4,000 years in the future, when a Roman spear would pierce the side of Jesus, blood would flow for the purchase and water for the cleansing of a bride, as he brings forth out of the earth in this evil age a bride equally yoked to himself, to be with him. Are you kidding? This is a great mystery. This is our destiny. And Jesus is the pattern. We have to become like him. Look, it's all about formation, formation, formation. This is why the challenges to our faith, this is why the difficulties, he's testing our faith. He wants us to grow up and to become like him. To overcome. As he overcame, he wants us to overcome. So the place is a city. Now if we go to Revelation 21:9, if we skip ahead to verse 9, we have some more language here. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls filled with the seven last plagues came to me and talked with me, and it's John, saying, "Come, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife." And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God. Ultimately, it's coming to the earth, by the way. Having the glory of God. Her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper, clear as crystal. In Revelation 4, the one on the throne is shining like jasper. Here the bride is shining like jasper. The very glory of God himself is on her. You know, and the question is, how do we think about this city? You know, is the city the bride? Is it the place the bride lives? Are we the city he lives in? Is he the city we live in? How does this work? And I don't want to lose us here, but if you think about, I think if you think about you and your body, me and my body, we are spirit, soul, and we're one reality. But my body is the house, it's the context in which I live, right? And so I think it's like the city is the body that houses this union. And it is the bride. I mean, I'm Ken. You look at me, you look at my body here, I'm Ken, and yet it's kind of just a house, right? It's the context for relationship. So and if you think of there's some, if we read on, there's representative connections. So there's connections there. If you remember, there's 12 foundations, which are named after the 12. There's 12 gates in the city. They're named after the 12 tribes of Israel. They were the people of God, the seed of Abraham. And there's 12 foundations named after the 12 apostles, which represents the church. It's the people of God. So it's built with people. It's kind of like, I guess, the temple. We're living stones joined together into a temple, which creates a context for God and man to have intimacy and to meet. So that might help us just think about the city. But if you think about it, if you read the whole thing, the city is built with materials. And I don't want to read it all. I'm going to go through my notes because we're going to run out of time before I get at the edit. Look, so the construction of the city, it says, the construction of the wall was jasper. It's construction. It's material. It has a high wall with gates. It has foundations. It has measurements. An angel brought a reed according to the measurement of a man. It has directions, north, south, east, and west. It has shape like a cube. It's built of materials. The construction was of jasper. Her wall was jasper. I find it interesting. It doesn't say like jasper. It says it was jasper. Jasper is kind of the diamond of the ancient world, I think. A diamond, can you think? A diamond. A diamond wall. Can you think what that does to the light? The light shining from the face of Jesus on the diamond wall and on all the stone. Can you imagine the light show? Verse 18, both the city and the street of the city in 21 were pure gold. I find it doesn't say like pure gold. It says it was pure gold. Do I know what? I don't know. I just know what the text says, all right? All I'm going to kind of establish is there's materiality to this city as there is to his physical body. It's not some ethereal, only spiritual reality. He's building something. He's building something real. Now, our Greek Gnosticism will say, it's all spiritual. The bodily resurrection is offensive to a Greek Gnostic because we are trying to get out of the body. The body is a trap. No, it's not. It's good. God created. It's good. Jesus has a body forever. This gold is transparent. It's so pure, it's transparent. The foundations of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. There again, the light, think of the light show. The 12 gates were 12 pearls. It doesn't say like pearls. It might be something other than pearl, but it says it was pearls. That's all I'm saying. Look, I'll stand in front of him one day and he'll critique my teaching. But at least I'm sticking to the text. All right? Just saying. Now, what are some of the symbolic meanings? Look, this city is the kingdom of God. Hebrews 11:9. By faith, Abraham dwelt in the land of promise as in a foreign country. He dwelt in the land while the Canaanites and all of their paganism dominated the atmosphere and the environment and defiled the land. He lived in a defiled land in a corrupt situation, building altars of true worship. By faith, he lived in the land of promise. He's promised the land, but it's like a foreign country to him. He's dwelling in tents. It's a temporary situation. That's our situation precisely. Right? He's dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. What promise? For he waited for the city with foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Look, it's the prayer of the church for 2,000 years. Your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. It's the great hope. If I go, I will come again. He's coming back as a bridegroom and as a king. So this whole part of the symbolic meaning is here. The whole issue of the number 12, when you read these Revelation 21 and 20, everything's 12 or multiples of 12. There's 24 elders, there's 12 foundations, there's 12 gates, there's 144,000, there's the measurement, 144 cubits, the walls, everything. 12 is the governmental number. It's a kingly city. Jesus called it what? The city of the great. He cites Psalm 48. Don't swear by Jerusalem. It's the city of the great king. He's thinking ahead when he becomes the king in a new Jerusalem in context to the earth. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's a priestly city. The 12 adorning stones of the foundation are reminiscent of the breastplate of the high priest, where there was a precious stone representing every tribe. In this case, it's the 12 apostles. How many of you know? He is worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your blood out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us what? Kings and priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth. It's the kingdom of heaven manifesting out of the realm of the Spirit, coming down onto planet earth with, I believe, a certain materiality, just like his body is. Somehow there's a man with a body living in heaven, in the realm of the Spirit. So he's building something materially that's coming down. Now look, it'll come down. John saw it coming down. I believe this city will interact with planet Earth for 1,000 years. That's what I believe. You don't have to agree with me. Look, Jesus spent 40 days in a resurrected body interacting with a natural earth, with natural humans who were not in resurrected bodies, right? That becomes a model of how the spiritual and the created order come together. The city he's building, it's coming down. Let me just say a couple of things. It's almost another whole teaching, and I don't want to land here. I want to go one more thing yet. Let me just say a couple of things. The city's coming down. Isaiah 2, it's the mountain on top of a mountain. If we plow on through Revelation 21, we have language like this. This city, this New Jerusalem, the bride, it says, and the nations of those who are saved walk in its light. What can that mean? The nations of those who are saved walk in the light of this city, shining with the glory of God, the bride, and the kings of the earth bring their glory into the city. There's interchange between this New Jerusalem, the great city, the bride, and the nations of the earth. It's the millennial earth, which is being dominated by this city, 1,500 cubic mile city, shining with the glory of God that came down to the earth as an interacting with the earth in the times of the restoration of all things, Acts 3:21. We're told its gates shall not be shut at all by day. There's no night there. There's no night in the city, but there's night on earth. The sun and moon still operate. It's still working. But in the city proper, his face lights the city. And there'll be by no means enter anything that defiles. That's because there's angels, bouncers at the gates. They don't let anything in that's going to defile it. But people in their natural bodies can bring the glory of their nations into it in worship. Now, I don't put stuff on tilt. Who teaches this, huh? Look, I get this from the text. This is Psalm 48. Let me just go through some of it quickly, and you can study that yourself. Psalm 48, great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. City, his holy mountain, beautiful in elevation. Beautiful in elevation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great King. Jesus